This 18 gauge wire is capable of handling the load as long as this thing is. I like this particular device because it can handle a little bit more. I can throw 1,000 watts at this thing, and I can put regular household lamps in it, or I can put larger mobile devices in it, because I've invested in adapters that I can frequently buy at Home Depots or at lighting supply stores, little porcelain adapters like these that I can put into existing fixtures, take the lamps I have and get them into the fixtures that I have available. Most of the sockets that you're going to encounter in the field are a thing called medium base, which is what the inside of this is. Most of the little tungsten lamps. But I've got adapters so that I can put almost any imaginable wattage lamp under 500 or 600 watts into that lamp. Little bayonet mount twist base, chandelier lamps. That's another one thing. I've even got one so that I can just do an electrical outlet from someone's lamp light socket. If you can't find power in a room and all you have is an overhead lamp somewhere, a tool like this can be an enormous time saver. Rather than trying to find an outlet somewhere in the building that you can use, just screwing this into an existing lamp and being able to plug in and grab a couple hundred watts, or plug in the laptop, or anything like that. Little tools like this that you can get at lighting supply stores, you can get from people like me, or you can sometimes even find at Home Depots, Lowe's, other hardware stores, can save you a lot of time in the field. That's why I carry on every job I go on just a little kit of funky little tools like these. I carry little things like little press-on lamps that I can just stick in a corner of a room behind someone's head and just light a little streak of light on the wall. Something that I can literally take a piece of adhesive and stick it on the wall. Or a little tiny fluorescent. Because like I said, as long as I've keyed someone with something that's going to look like white light, I probably don't mind having something in the background that's a little blue or a little green, because we're all accustomed to a mixed source world. Fluorescence and tungsten, a little bit of daylight coming in the window, sodium vapors like street lights or mercury halides. We all see this all the time, and we're seeing it increasingly in the movies we watch, the TV shows we watch. They're more and more embracing a mixed source world, where there's every imaginable kind of light leaking into the shots. Any other questions?
If you've got a choice, is it preferable to shoot outdoors? That's pretty elementary for most people.
Outdoors sunlight is the best light source that's possible. It's just the best light there is. It is the complete spectrum of light. It's available to you, all day long. The problem with the sun is it moves and it hides behind the clouds. If you're going to use sunlight, there's nothing like a good weather forecast. Just looking ahead and seeing what's coming for you. And there's nothing like having a few grip tools in hand, like bounce boards. This shower curtain can actually be useful on a sunny day. Just if you've got the sun rising or setting, and you set this thing in between the sun and your person, you can take some fairly high contrast light and soften it, and you can walk a bounce board onto the other side of that person and fill in this high contrast side, and you can make something fairly pretty without turning on a single light.
If you're going to do an outside interview and you have the luxury of choosing the time of day, what time of day is the best lighting for an interview?
Magic hour. Magic hour is the hour immediately before sunset. That's, that tends to be some of the prettiest light. It's usually a little warm, which can frequently be flattering to people, especially if you have if people with darker skin tones. If you're just throwing regular daylight at them and you're not careful about your white balancing, their skin can look wooden or metallic, which can make them seem like wood or metal. The pause is what always makes that one work. But yeah, and I love to shoot daylight, except for the part where, you know, it's 102 outside and my brains are leaking out my ears. But daylight's just the best stuff that you can get. You just have to, live with the fact that it limits your time very severely. You have to get shots right there on the fly. Because the position that it's in that you like usually only lasts for 15 to 30 minutes. Go ahead.
Where do you want the shot at the magic hour? Do you want it behind you, in front of you, at an angle?
Well, it's going to be somewhere at the edge of the horizon, so it's going to be low. So honestly, you can have it behind people, you can have it in front of them. It's more at that point a question of what you do with that light. Because I'm going to come in, if I have that light in front of somebody, and I'm going to come in with, say, that mirror tile, and I'm going to take a little bit of that light and just put a little edge on their shoulders, just a little something to cut them out from the background. And I might walk in a fill and grab some of that light and angle it in at them. But in any case, I'm probably going to take a little bit of that light and borrow it and kind of push it back at them from one angle or another, no matter where I set them. Because you're going to try and pick the background that you like. If there's some message you're trying to convey, what better way to do it than put it behind your speaker where it can be seen? If you're trying to talk about a dirty, polluting smokestack, well, you want that smokestack behind them. You want to talk about, you want your audience to see that smokestack while it's being talked about. You know, nothing says dirty like a big black plume of smoke floating around behind your subject that's threatening to engulf the frame. So find the framing that you want, but then bring a few tools with you that you can use to take that sunlight and make it work for you. Does that help?
Yes.
A quick question. If you're doing an indoor sort of impromptu interview and you have $250 in a Home Depot, like what sort of setup would you recommend for something like that?
Well, that's an excellent question. If you don't own any professional lighting, Home Depot clip lights or work lights like this, these things can be made to work for you. Now, this base is kind of kludgy. You know, I need something to put it on. Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry.
But it's only attached to this base with a couple of screws. I can attach this thing to almost anything with a couple of bolts. All I need is, you know, a wrench and just a little tool bag of bolts. I mean, a lot of times on set, you ought to think of yourself as more like a carpenter than anything else. Having, you know, a crescent wrench, a Leatherman, having a set of pliers, having a few screwdrivers, a few Allen wrenches can make the difference between being able to make someone look good and not. I've got a tool set. Let me just grab it real quick here that I carry with me on every job. Dun, dun, dun. And it's not like these are just full of tools. These are just, I like these because they have lots of pockets and I can keep things organized. So when I go looking for something, I can find it and find it quickly. And that's another part of preparation. If you want to do a good job on set, organize your tools before you ever get on set. Put everything in a pocket and always put it back in that same pocket so you can find it when you're looking for it. But I mentioned earlier, you know, if I'm going to set some bounce board and I don't have a C-stand, I might tie it to a chair with baling wire. You bet I have baling wire. I always go on set with baling wire, and where did I get this baling wire? I got it at a hardware store. For $250, yes, I ought to spend a little bit of money on work lights like that, but something like this can make a world of difference as well. And I can frequently hang something like a shower curtain from, say, a drop ceiling. Does everyone know what I mean by a drop ceiling?